Well, Dai, I guess you'll be pleased with the win, but not necessarily pleased with the performance towards the end of the second half.
Yeah, we fell away a little bit, especially the last 5 minutes, but job was done then. So, it's we've had a hard couple of weeks, and we've lost them games in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes. So that's certainly an area that we got to look at. Doesn't help ourselves by yellow cards. Obviously, we're down to 14 men for 2 occasions today, which obviously saps a bit of energy out of you. But I don't want to spend too much time looking at the negatives, really. Of course, there's things to improve on, and it certainly is an area that we have got to improve on. But I thought for most of the game, we were in control of the game. We had a far better professional performance than we have over the last couple of weeks. We didn't play carefree rugby, risk too many risks inside our own half and so on. I thought we were pretty controlled, and we produced a lot of opportunities. We took some, and we didn't take them all, but we took enough to get ourselves in front, and I thought it was pretty controlled up until, as I said, we died off a little bit in the second half.
I mean, the first half was almost the perfect demonstration of the pace on the wings and the power up front. You had 2 tries for Christian Wade, and you had a try for Captain Joe Launchbury. They really demonstrated the 2 aspects of the game that you've been working on.
Yeah, I think if you look back to the London Irish game, I think Worcester played very similar to London Irish. Don't play much rugby inside their own half. So there's no point us playing too much rugby in our own half, because at the end of the day, they were just going to play on our weaknesses, really. So we decided to play field position, feeling that they were going to kick the ball back to us, and that's exactly what they did. Really, kick the ball back to us, allowed us to have some platforms inside their half, allowed us to have some go forward, and once you get some go forward and the defence tightens up, you give Christian Wade half a yard and he's gone. But I thought it was great stuff for his first try. I think Villaroo obviously found an hole there, it attracted their winger, put Wadey half a yard in front of him, and it's curtains.
Let's look at the second half, or actually let's look at the end of the first half, because you took Danny Cipriani off. Was that a tactical or an injury?
No, he had a bit of a bang to the head, so the physios took him off for an HIA assessment. He actually passed the HIA assessment, but I decided not to put him back on because he took a bit of a bump last week, as we know. Come through all the protocols, it was totally fine. Was totally fine to go back on today, but I just didn't want to risk him. I thought it was probably the sensible thing to do to leave him off.
And then moving into the second half, very different beast from the first, a lot cagier, and Worcester came out with a lot more that you couldn't really get past them with.
Yeah, we didn't have enough ball first 20 minutes. We struggled to get hold of the ball, certainly in the right area. We lacked a little bit of discipline, really, as in went chasing a lot of balls at ruck time, which give away silly penalties, which meant we didn't have the ball, so we had big periods defending. But I was pretty happy with the defence for them periods. Really, I felt I felt I wouldn't feel threatened. I thought we were under control, really. But it took us probably the first 10 to 15 minutes before we got any decent ball, and then as I said, we started to bite my nails a little bit. I think it was about 15 minutes ago, and we hadn't got that fourth try, really, because I think we'd have been kicking ourselves if we haven't got that.
Let's look at the 2 yellow cards in the second. I mean, Jack Withers, he's unlucky because he's a big man anyway, goes off for the tip tackle. Jimmy Gopper, I thought, really unlucky, because when the guy's in the air, it's always going to be a rough collision.
Yeah, as I said, I don't want to, it's tough for the referees, isn't it, really, but they certainly seem to be falling against us at the minute. I think we've had the last couple of weeks when yellows should have been reds, and then we've had one last week that wasn't seen and then banned. So they certainly not missing anything we do at the minute. But we've got to look at ourselves, really, and as I said, making it hard for ourselves with yellow cards. No complaints with the Jack one. I think if you lift the leg, no intent there, obviously, not looking to injure anybody, but he's a big strong boy. If you lift the leg, you could have problems, really. I didn't really see a yellow card in the Jimmy incident. I felt he fell over his own man, really. So I thought that was unlucky, but you win some and you lose some, and we're not winning many at the minute, mind, to be honest.
So what went wrong in the last 10 minutes? Because they come back with 2 consolation tries when you would have thought this game you've closed out.
Yeah, but the game was won, really. It's disappointing because you don't want teams to score, and I know obviously Phil would have been disappointed, really, to allow them to score tries in the last 10 minutes. But as I said, it's disappointment, but the job was done then, really. So that's something we look at in the week really. But the important thing for us was 5 points were in the bag. We haven't picked up too many injuries. For most of the game, I was pretty pleased, and still things to improve on. But we didn't looking to improve on things with a bit of a smile on our face, because the last 2 weeks have been pretty hard, been tough ones to take really.
And finally, how's the treatment room looking this afternoon?
There's lots of bumps and bruises, but I don't think anything is too serious. Thomas had a nasty stinger first half, and we got him through to about 15 minutes. There's a lot. Danny, as I said, had a bit of a bang of the head, but he's passed his HIA, so he could have gone back on, but we decided to keep him off. So we're not looking at too many at this moment in time, but you never know with us. So fingers crossed that we've got a clean bill of health next week.